Where else can you go to get water and other sources and edible? You know, don't think nutrition at this point. Just think sheer energy and food, okay? A bag of chips is better than nothing, okay? There's some other places you may check that the mass may have not. I made a few lists here. You may want to, do some thinking yourself on this. Come up with some other ideas. Gas bars, okay? Gas bars always have bottled water. They've got juice. Juice is great to have. It's nutritious. They've always got candy bars. Some have peanuts in it, okay? Hardware stores. Okay, you ever been to a hardware store? You walk up to the counter and what do they got sitting there? Pop and stuff like that. Water. Convenience stores, even movie rental places. Okay, these are places I'm suggesting. This is not your first choice. This is if you've gone to a grocery store and you found empty shelves and everybody's in a hoorah and you don't know where else to go. These are places to look at. Surplus stores. Quite often you can go in a surplus store. Most of the time they'll have hunting equipment and hardware, but you'd be surprised. You go back sometimes, you'll see boxes of canned goods sometimes there. Even restaurants. Okay, don't be afraid if worst comes to worst. Go talk to a restaurant. Sometimes they're willing to sell you stuff. If they sell soup, chances are they don't make everything. Okay, it comes in a big can. There's situations like that, so you may want to consider that too as an option. And even street vendors. Okay, I'm throwing out some wild ideas here, but sometimes it's better than nothing. We have a lady who has a hot dog cart. She's always got bottled water in there for sale. She's got sausages, buns. Okay, it's a long shot out there type idea, but this is in the case of more severity. Now I want to get back to diesel fuel for your energy needs. Diesel is a wonderful thing. A lot of people don't realize that diesel can substitute other things like kerosene and heating oil, although I don't recommend anything used long term. Okay, get the fuel that's designed for it. For example, if you have a kerosene heater and you don't have kerosene, don't be afraid to run diesel fuel in it. It will burn your heater out over time. It will make the wick dirty on it, but we did it. It will work. Diesel fuel, I say, because most farmers have it. Almost every gas bar will have diesel, and it lasts. Okay, diesel, unlike gas, does not go stale. It's an oil. If you have an oil lantern and you're out of kerosene, because that's what they run on, you can use diesel as well. It won't be as bright. It does get a little dirty, but it will work. And it's great for cooking on. Okay. Other things you may want to think of, some other ideas. Okay, so you can't get diesel or you don't have cash for it. Remember, anything that burns produces heat, okay, to a certain degree. I don't recommend burning pressure treated wood or paint or other chemicals or tires or whatever, but think of things like this. You've got a cardboard bin around the block. Cardboard, it burns, it creates heat. You can boil water with it. Okay. Paper, roll up paper logs. That's been done before too. A lot of this stuff has been done in the Depression. A lot of countries around the world that have had economic collapses, like even Germany, believe it or not, I saw a picture one time, they were burning the currency because it was cheaper than burning firewood. Anyways, that's not the point right now. Some people are going to accuse you of hoarding. I've heard this, now not in Canada. I've heard stories through the States in this case about some people that are on assistance or welfare, whatever you want to call that, that apparently they've been accused of hoarding if they have too much stuff in their closet. It's really, really unfortunate because there really is a fine line between being greedy, hoarding, and being wise and stocking up for tough times. So I can't tell you how that works, where these laws were. I don't know any of that. My wife has also told me some people don't realize how much water do you need. You look visually, this looks like a lot of water. Well, basically you need that much every day to drink. You may have different types of water, okay, like for sanitary. Another thing I should tell you too, if for any reason you run out of hydro, okay, you're on a farm or whatever, or the towns that have hydro, but you still have water, most people don't realize you can still flush a toilet without actually having the water run into it. If you can even pail water, just dump it right down the bowl and it'll flush that way. It's just a little tip on, most people don't realize that. Now, how much water do they recommending, hon, for an average person?
An average person would be about 3 gallons per day.
3 gallons per day.
That would be for both drinking and cooking and cleaning.
Okay.
And if you're in a really hot climate, you might want to increase that a little bit because if it's very hot, you'll be drinking more. Okay, so there you go. There's a little guideline. Research this again for yourself. We got this offline ourselves. Keep in mind too that water can be used for different purposes. If you happen to be close to a lake or a river, don't waste good clean water for washing or whatever. You can also invest in a good water filter and use that lake water if you have a very high quality water filter, you can turn it into drinking water, and you can in a severe case, you could actually just filter it with a regular one and then add bleach or iodine tablets to it. You can buy water sanitary tablets you can use when you're camping. You can use those same things in an emergency situation to turn questionable water into something safe to drink.
There's going to be a lot of ideas floating around there and conspiracy theories. I'm trying to keep this as level as possible. I'm trying to focus on more of a hardcore, just logical, what do we deal with, the situation. There's a town not too far from here, about 7 or 8 years ago, there was a bunch of people started having diarrhea, and they went to the hospital. And from what I understand, by the end of the day, I think a quarter of the town was lined up outside of the hospital. And what it turned out to be, this is a town of about 4,000 people, and they were overwhelmed. I mean, just bang, hit like that, right? At first you think, okay, guy's got a sore stomach, ate something, whatever, It did turn out to be that there was contaminated town water. There was a big, this went all through the courts, and there was an investigation and a public inquiry and all this. It's a long story. But I'm just using it also as an example that it can happen, and it can happen without you knowing that it's coming. That's why I call this the unexpected blow. These things can happen, you're not prepared. So the best thing to do is to try to be prepared. Right now might even be a good warning for people to be prepared for anything else. This is the time you think, gosh, I don't have this, I don't have that. Write it down, keep it in mind. So that way, 3-4 weeks from now, when this is all blown over and nothing happened of it, you won't forget about that and say, hey, just because life's good, I should keep that in mind. If anything else comes up, we'll be willing to share most of what we're going to offer you as far as the current situation with this. You're probably already going to get anyways with news or other YouTube videos or whatever. But if there's anything else we can offer, if there's any questions, let us know. We'll try to do the best we can. Even things like candles. Okay, keep some candles, stuff like that too.
Even a can opener.
A good can opener.
Most people use electric can openers now. That won't do you any good if the power's off.
There's a really good point. Stuff like this you take for granted and you don't think about it. This is what you really need to focus on, what you take for granted. There's a good point, electric can opener. But I mean, if you're the type of person that lives in a situation where everything's electric, whatever, think of that, It never hurts to have 2 of everything that's affordable. Can opener can break. And the other thing too, you got to work together on all these things too. Like if everybody just thinks for themselves, nobody's going to survive anything. And I'm not talking just about, we're not trying to blow this out of proportion. We're not here to say, oh, the world's coming to an end, it's a pandemic, and trying to glorify the situation. One thing, however, did make me sick. There's one company that was all cheering about it because their stocks are going to go up due to their medication. Shame on you people for that. Anyways, that's how desperate they're getting in the economy, I guess, to keep the stock markets up. Again, as far as the conspiracies, you know what, I'm willing to consider, there's a lot of weird things that are happening, okay? I mean, is it any coincidence we got this, like 3 weeks ago, whatever it was,
just
last week.
And they first started sending those out when the bird flu started getting spooky.
Yeah.
And before that, they never had sent them out.
And now this comes, and now what's happening? I don't know. Do they know something we don't? I guess only they know that. Or somebody very wise can put the pieces together on that. So, anyways, thank you for watching. We hope to get back to some normal business soon, with our homestead series. And I have some other things I want to discuss on the economic collapse situation. There's some things happening there that I've been thinking about. We'll do another video on that maybe later this week. So take care now, and help your neighbor, look after yourself.